I still can't believe that Will Smith slapped the shit out of Chris Rock on the world stage. Maybe if Chris Rock had some of this sea moss, he would have been in better health and better mental clarity to at least fight back or pinch the Negro. Drop down in the description box and click the link to purchase this and other health and wellness products. Nessa girl, I just got through watching episode 2 of the show that Black Americans did not know we needed, Young, Famous, and African. And you know what? Surprisingly, episode 2 has changed my mind about a couple things and a couple people. It's warmed my heart, and I know y'all are dying to know who. Want to talk about it? Here you go. Nessa girl, episode 2 of Young, Famous, and African opens up with Diamond being on the porch, calling Nadia, wanting to take Nadia out on a date per se, to go with him to pick out cars, right? Now, I'm not going to lie to you. Watching that scene, first of all, that blue on that beautiful black skin while he was on that terrace overlooking the trees and stuff was just beautiful. The cinematography was just everything in there. So I have to point that out. So shout out to the cinematographer, the director of photography, and all them good old folks over there in production at Netflix. But I couldn't help but feel like, all right, Netflix, y'all not finna bore us to death with this fake ass love storyline between Nadia and Diamond. Because although I'm only 2 episodes in and I'm gonna take my time with this show because I'm enjoying it so much, I'm just not buying it. Am I the only one feeling that way? And please don't spoil it for me down in the comments. But I'm just really not buying it per se. It really gives me, all right, y'all are loosely connected and we need to find a way to get some of y'all more connected in this thing to make a solid show. But it just doesn't feel that real to me. Or at least in that moment, it didn't, right? So then we move on from that scene with Kanye and Nadia are talking. Nadia felt it prudent to meet up with Kanye to talk about what happened at the party because Annie was her guest at the ball the previous evening. And it made me feel good when Kanye said she wasn't offended. You know, she was not offended by Annie's words or Annie questioning her parenting. And I'm going to tell you something. That kind of made me like Kanye even more because if you are going to be bold and brazen and liberal, especially liberal to the point where it defies what the status quo is, then you have got to be able to take criticism and understand that your stuff really does vary from how the vast majority of the herd raises their children. And Kanye seems to have a very firm grasp on the fact that her setup and her situation is different, but she stands 10 toes down and firmly in it. While we're at it, let me see, should I talk about that now? Should I talk about, okay, I'm talking about it afterwards. So then the next scene, we see Swanky and Annie together. Again, even at this point, we're 2 episodes in, we don't know much about Swanky other than the fact that he is MFing Swanky. That brother was dressed down, okay? And I loved the infusion between African influence, designer, big and gaudy, accessorized. Like, I loved it all. On any other person, Swanky's fashion aesthetic would look like they went rumbling through the rummage sale and picked up a bunch of mismatched pieces. But for whatever reason, he puts on all that stuff at the same damn time in all those different colors, shapes, sizes, textures, materials, and fabrics, and cultures, and socioeconomic statuses, and makes it look so good. So shout out to Swanky for his fashion sense. Swanky people, Swanky people, Swanky, send me a couple looks. Email me, I'll send you my P.O. box. I like gifts. You got money, send me some Johannesburg, some South African expired pieces. I want pieces too. I want to be fly over here in America, giving their ass a South African tea or whatever. Make it happen, brother. Wakanda forever. So he takes Annie on a helicopter ride, and when they get off the helicopter, you know, he begins to talk to Annie about her words and about having just such strong opinions about Kanye's parenting style. And I'm not going to lie to you, during that conversation, it kind of opened my eyes and it softly changed my perspective on a few things, right? Now, here's what I mean. He was telling her, you know, people have different parenting styles. And if she is, what if in a way she's protecting her child? You know, she's dating. She doesn't want to have, you know, just multiple men all up and around her daughter, especially if she has no intentions of marrying, you know, which, you know, is a semi-valid point, although I'm pretty sure if Kanye and the man live next door, that he still has exposure to her daughter. But, you know, a lot of moms, especially single moms, could relate to that from the perspective of bringing men around your children and end up molesting your children and touching your children. So he was definitely hitting all those emotional heartstrings that make you look at the situation different. And then he was also telling her too, you know, you need to be a little less judgmental because what works for them works for them. Now, you know, Annie was giving a lot of pushback, and I definitely will say the way I was raised and the way I think I would have raised my children if ever I accidentally had any, that would never fly. We would definitely be in the same structure, right? But catch these teas. When they transition to the scene where Kanye literally walked out her door, walked down the hallway to the nearest next door and opened the door, it was her daughter's apartment, right? I think once you get past the sticker shock of her daughter's age, I ask you guys this question. Truthfully, from a logistical standpoint, what is the difference between her walking out her door, down the hall, to the condo next door to hers that shares a wall, and them living in a big ass mansion and her daughter being on the east wing and her being on the west wing? Like, and I can't even believe I am acquiescing to this idea, but after I physically seen it with my eyes, it's not as bad as it appears upon first glance. Now, some of y'all can get down in the weeds and the petty minutia of it all and argue that, yeah, she got her own, but I need to have access, and she can't be nowhere where she got her own, you know, key and her own whatever. I am sure her mother has a key to that damn door and can enter that apartment at any given time. I am sure that there are parameters set in place where the doorman is not just letting men up and down the elevator, going in and out the daughter's apartment, and the mom is not aware of it. I am sure that the mother has some level of security access or something to the daughter's apartment. So again, I ask the question, what is the difference between her having the adjoining apartment and them living in a huge ass mansion where the daughter lives on the east wing and she lives on the west wing, or she lives on the fourth floor and the daughter has the whole basement apartment with her own separate interests? When you really look at it from a square footage perspective, there really is no difference. And I honestly think that this has less to do with her daughter having independence and more to do with a show of wealth. I really think this is more about being a flaunty, gaudy show of wealth. And because, hey, perhaps I like living in a damn skyrise, but I don't want my damn daughter in here with me. Like, you know, it ain't as bad as it appears after you physically look at it. I still couldn't do it, but I'm not judging her with the strength of a lion like I was when she first said it. The boys meet and play golf, and we find out that Diamond cheated on Zari after having 2 kids with her and had kids with another woman. You know, I'm not surprised. There really isn't much to do with that right there. That just seems to be the nature of, it seems to just be the nature of men who garner a lot of celebrity and money at a very early age. I mean, that really parallels the same things that go over here in the U.S. with our athletes and entertainers. And it seems to just be what it is. It's really a sign of immaturity. You know, fortunately, you know, Diamond seems to be a mega superstar that literally, a worldwide superstar that literally has enough money to do whatever he wants to do and take care of all of his children very comfortably. But I'm gonna tell y'all something. I'm just too stingy with the little bit of money that I got to be having that many liabilities and that many bills going at my account every month. Like, I just could not. I would be one resentful bitch if my money was just going to support 5 and 6 different households every month, regardless of if I loved my children or not. You know what I'm saying? And for that reason alone, I would just be more careful with who I laid down in bed with and did not use protection. Like, just making babies willy-nilly, it's just not. There's just something about that I just can't respect. You know what I'm saying? And truthfully, we always preach to women about, you know, being virtuous and respecting their body and that their body is a temple. But I think that in 2022, I don't know if it's by birth or by nurturing and conditioning and socialization, that men, we're not indoctrinated that same way. Like, low-key, we're not taught to have any respect for our bodies. We're not. We're almost taught to just give our bodies away, that our bodies belong to as many people as we want to give it to, and that's seen as a good thing. And I just wonder what this world would be like if men carried themselves like their body was a gift. Like, it is a gift. It is an honor for me to pull my pants down and give you what I have. I think we live in a totally different society. I mean, yeah, we would just live in a totally different society if men were socialized the same way. And man, I think it's really time that we, you know, honestly and truthfully, I think we've been cheated out of some of our valor and our honor. Like, take a step back and just imagine, like how powerful that would be. To just be like, nah, like, just any and everybody can't get this, not this. And to just have these people, these women, these men, whatever you into, just out here begging for it. You know what I'm saying? Like, working for it. Some may argue that biologically that's just not the way things are supposed to be, and that's another conversation for another day. So the girls link up to go shopping, and Kanye gives Kayleigh the 5th degree about marrying her play brother Quentin. I like Kayleigh. You know, she came with it. Kayleigh, however the hell he said. Give me some time. I'm only on episode 2. I'm going to get the names right. Or whatever. But Kanye asked her, was they sexing without no protection? And it was like, damn. Nadia was like, damn, girl, you ain't got to answer that, just all up in that girl cooch. But I like Kanye's style. What you see is what you get. She's a straight shooter, and you see her coming from a mile away. You know what I'm saying? At least upon first glance. I got a feeling that as the show progresses, this show is going to prove me that she does have a conniving spirit. Well, she proved that in episode 1 when she said she identified with what Annie's weakness was, which left me side-eyeing her, or whatever the case may be. Nadia and Diamond go car shopping. That was when things changed a little for me, right? I saw a little chemistry there. I did. I saw a little chemistry there, and I actually liked it. What I don't like is, Nadia, you got a whole man at home waiting on you. Rather he's on another continent or not. When you start talking about you're in a committed relationship with somebody else, you don't conduct yourself like this with a TV camera rolling. Now, I'm not saying that you don't go to a party and somebody introduce you to a guy and you don't take up conversation with him, right? But there's still a certain level of decorum that you have when you have a boyfriend. You don't give off an energy of, well, if you weigh me down hard enough, I might swing your way. And that's very much the vibe that you are giving Diamond. Now, then you later reveal that you're interested in doing music with him, right? And see, here's the thing where in the workplace it gets sticky with women, right? Because y'all know how to use y'all feminine essence when y'all want something. Even if you have no intentions on being in a relationship, doing anything romantic or sexual with the guy, y'all know how to turn it on and off when you want something and when it's convenient for you. But if you were not attracted to him, you did not think you could get anything from him, and he began to flirt with you or come on to you in a romantic gesture, then y'all want to scream, sexual harassment, I feel uncomfortable in the workplace. And that's where all of this Me Too and sexual harassment stuff gets very sticky. Because again, y'all turn it off and on when it's convenient for you. And most times it's convenient when it's a superstar, a baller, or an athlete, or a man with money. But depending on your morals or lack thereof, you could be like like Kanye, and she said, hell, let it go to the highest bidder. She let y'all know without a shadow of a doubt, her pussy is for sale. And that's why she got to keep her daughter in another apartment, because she over there auctioning off the puss to the highest bidder. I ain't mad with you, honey. I ain't mad with you. Just don't let your children see it. So Kanye goes round to Annie's house and they discuss parenting. That was very fun. That was very fun, because I love the fact that the two women were able to engage in a conversation where they both are on complete opposite ends of the spectrum, but they still left with an understanding. And Kanye tried her hardest. You know what I'm saying? That she did draw certain parallels, as to say, you ain't no better. Don't look down on me. Do not look down on me, because you're no better than I am. You left your kids on the other end of a continent while mine is next door. Now, granted, that would have been a checkmate, Kanye, if it wasn't for the fact that Annie left her children in the protection of their father and their grandmother, her mother. You know, I guess the point that Kanye was trying to make was that we are both equally as absent in the lives of our children. So don't come from my motherhood. I mean, and depending on who you want to defend, you can ride with that. But Annie's situation is a bit more socially acceptable. We know hands down that the children are safe, that they've got two able-bodied adults watching over them. And quite frankly, Kanye, your daughter could have drugs hidden in the house somewhere, could be potentially having sex, could be on the internet engaging in activities that she should not be engaging in, all because she has just a little too much independence and a little too much privacy that is comfortable for the conventional parent. We then get introduced to Zari. Kanye goes and she meets Zari. Now, is it me, or did both of those women sitting at that bar having drinks look like two glowing alien life forms? Now listen, somebody jumped in my YouTube comments the other day and said, basically, and I'm paraphrasing, that we and I need to back up off the Africans with the skin bleaching, because we do the BBLs and the body augmentations and the long hair weaves and all that stuff over here in the US. I see what you was trying to do, but that's not quite the same, right? One is, I want a better body. The other is rooted in self-hate and colonialism. You know what I'm saying? Like, while they both reside in the same neighborhood, they live in two separate households, if that makes sense. While body augmentation and plastic surgery resides in the same neighborhood with skin bleaching, they reside in two separate households. And again, I said when I started doing this, pardon my ignorance, because I don't know much about what goes on the continent of Africa. I do know, based on the little time that I've been reviewing this, that both South Africa and the U.S. have been deeply impacted by colonization. All right. So I definitely can understand the dark skin versus light skin, the wanting the lighter skin. Just my lack of knowledge of Africa, I automatically assumed that everybody over there was super proud and 100% stand 10 toes down in whatever skin color they were born in. And their natural hair and texture. That's what I thought. Again, pardon my ignorance. Now I'm starting to realize that, you guys were equally as impacted, if not more. Because at least for us in the U.S., people still, they judge you. They judge you, or they have something to say when people bleach their skin. I may be wrong, but it's almost feeling like it's celebrated over there. And y'all drop down in the comments and correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know. And I noticed the same thing with Caribbean islands as well. It's like it's a thing. Like, bleaching skin products are a big market in those areas, and everybody is just about the bleaching. And I don't know, y'all, that, again, I don't know people's lives and I don't know their struggles. But there is something about that is just uncomfortable for me. It just makes me uncomfortable. And it like, if I was sitting across from you at dinner, the whole time I would just be sitting and looking like, and I wouldn't be able to hear nothing coming out of your mouth, because I would want to understand your mind so much and why you're so fixated on this aesthetic and why you think you look better. Because quite frankly, they look a little foolish to me, especially when it gets to the point where your skin is glowing, all right? And you don't look like no complexion that is naturally produced through genetics. Like, Zari and Kanye, y'all were glowing. Y'all look like glowworms. It's alien life forms from another planet. And I would love for us to have a conversation about that, which, let me point out, may not be so far-fetched, y'all. I did an all call on my last video about potentially interviewing members of the cast, and my cries were answered. So the ball is rolling. I am in communications with some of the appropriate people, at least I think, to get things rolling. We're a couple steps closer than we were when we first started. Let's put it that way. We'll see how it all pans out. But anyway, Kanye sits and she talks with Zari about her relationship with Diamond. And, Zari's like, child, that's a thing of the past. We got 2 kids. We gonna always love each other. But the way he did me, basically, long as he cutting this check and taking care of these kids, I'm good. I got a new man in my life. We get to Diamond's party. The party was beautiful. I loved it. I love the explanation of how his culture is a bit of this mixed with Swahili, mixed with Indian. It's all a product of colonization or whatever, and it's a fusion of all the cultures. I loved it. I loved how everybody was dressed, despite the fact that some of their outfits did defy what Arabic women would dress like, but they put a modern spin on it. I loved everybody's attire. Everybody looked good. They're sitting down. I love the way Diamond explained, I wanted to recreate how it is when I'm home just chilling. That's why we're sitting on the floor. If you've ever observed me and my friends when I'm with James or Skin Miami, aka Larnett, or Miss Kenny, or the rest of the girls, Erin, Miss Cindy, that's how we are. And I always tell you, and listen, by no means at all am I implying I remotely got the type of money that these kids got, because I don't. But I got enough to do anything I want to do in the United States. Anything I want to do, I can do. Within reason. One time. With that being said, with the access that I have and the access that my friend group has, we still just like to do regular ass shit. Y'all ever notice that? I be down to the bar with a Honda Cosby with a drink's $5. I prefer to be there. So I don't know, there was just something about that moment. It was like, even though we could be doing the most grand thing, let's sit around on the floor and just talk and just vibe. And I loved that. Then Zari walks in. Zari walks in and basically steals the show. Now here's what was a little baffling for me. Zari walked in and obviously Nadia felt a little intimidated. It was a little awkward. But here's the thing. It shouldn't be, right? If your intentions are pure and there's somebody across the water who has your heart, then what you feeling away for? If your intentions are just to be friends, had he brought in 30 women, 4 concubines, and 3 prostitutes, you shouldn't have felt no ways tired. You should have been like, hey girl, cute shoes, pass the cheese. You see what I'm saying? The fact that you kind of got in your feelings, got a little taken aback, it says a lot. And when you were having your alone time with Andile, y'all please forgive me for butchering these names. I'm going to get them. Because it's disrespectful not to learn somebody's names. But when you were having your alone time with him, you know, he made the comment to you, you know, you said, look at her, she's beautiful. Any woman would be intimidated. And then he said to you, if you want it, go after it, get what you want. You'd only be intimidated if you're running the same race with that woman. If you're interested in being friends with that woman or being business partners with that woman or being associates with that woman or just being 2 guests at a party, there's no reason for you to be intimidated because she has nothing over you because y'all are not running the same race. But if you're running the same race, now we're talking a different situation. And the fact that you felt a way and your energy and your spirit change suggests to me that you might be trying to run the same race that she running, and what you saw at that table is indicative of the fact that you can't win. You ain't gonna win, girl. Annie's husband calls her. I love the fact that everybody is tied to one another one way or another. I mean, I guess that's the way it works when you're in these rich upper echelon circles or whatever the case may be. And Annie's husband knew who Zari was. Now, I think Zari was reaching when she said the comment about Annie wanting to know how her husband knew Zari. Easily, bitch, because I've been sitting up here fucking this man for the last 20 years and he's mentioned Diamond 400 times but never mentioned your name. It don't mean I'm insecure, and it do not mean I think you fucking my husband, because obviously you fucking Diamond. But I don't think there was nothing off with wanting to know how you knew her husband. That's just basic human nature. Like, don't get it twisted. You are a nice looking woman, but girl, you are not all that, okay? You are not that girl that every time you walk into a room, a bitch think that you're gonna take their man. Like, girl, calm down. And if we really own it, quiet as it's kept, honey, you could stand to lose a couple damn pounds if you want to know the truth and go a couple shades darker, because you big and you glowing. And that's the God honest truth. Thinking she the fine girl. You ain't no Naomi Campbell, bitch. Don't get it twisted. You all right. But don't get beside yourself, sis. And then Diamond and Zari have a conversation. And it's weird because, you know, she was letting it all hang out in that conversation, letting them know you were not there to protect me. You were not there. You didn't do your parts. I put up with XYZ. And I don't know. There's just something about their love story that felt to me like that's a conversation they would have been had or whatever. But obviously they hadn't. And I'm glad they didn't, because we get to see it on this show. And Diamond, his response showed that he's halfway ready. Like, because he still was unable to hear it all and digest it all. He still had a problem processing a lot of it, but you know, he's getting there. And Diamond is one of those guys that's probably not gonna get there until he gets close to 40. And Zari, don't wait. Young, famous, and African. Got it going on. I'm having fun with this. I think I might review it episodically because I am having fun with it. And like I said, I discussed this with my friend DJ Richie Sky when I called him the other day. What I like about this, beyond the dynamics of the cast, because quiet as it's kept, the dynamics of the cast in the grand scheme of reality TV, we've all seen it before, right? This, in that regard, this is no different than any other reality TV show on the market. But what I do like about it, from my perspective, is what I am learning about Africa. That's what's the most intriguing, and African culture. and the way people in Africa move and conduct themselves and how they are juxtaposed against those of us in the West. I am loving all of that. This is a learning vessel for me. And for that reason alone, I'm noticing like incrementally each episode, I'm learning more and more and more, and my eyes are opening more and more and more. And I think for that reason alone, I think I might want to review this show episodically just so I can have a recording of my progression of learning. So I think that's what I'm going to do. Anyway, y'all share this with everybody in South Africa. Let them know Funky Dineva loves South Africa, and I will be coming over to Johannesburg just as soon as y'all extend me an invitation and pay for my flight, because I ain't got no money like them. I ain't driving no GLE like Nadia, despite the fact that my car costs more than hers. But, oh, and somebody broke that down for me. You know, I was clowning Nadia about that GLE. And people explained to me, you know, while it may cost one thing in the United States, once you put the import tax and fees and all that stuff on it, it's, you know, way more in Africa. So that made things make sense. And again, that's one of those areas where my ignorance as an American showed, because obviously I'm looking at the whole world through the American gaze and thinking that the car is the same price there as it is here. And lo and behold, it wasn't. You see how learning goes? Isn't learning fun? Nevertheless, y'all be sure to like and subscribe all my new South African and African family on the continent of Africa. You guys, please follow me, like, share it with the cast. The cast follow me. I can't wait to get to talk to any of you guys that I can get my hands on as soon as possible on this platform and on TGIF on Fox Soul. And until then, I'll talk to y'all later. Bye. And fuck your own man. Don't go out getting other people, man. Fuck your own man.